Discover the most durable van in Toyota's history. The Toyota Dyna Route van is a delivery van that combines the advantages of a Hiace with the technology and durability of a Hino truck. It could be precisely what you need. Overview. At first glance, this vehicle looks like a garage experiment, as if someone took two completely different vehicles and simply welded them together. And honestly, that assessment isn't far from the truth. What you are looking at is the third-generation Toyota Dyna Route van. To build it, Toyota took the heavy-duty chassis and cab of the proven 7th generation Hino Dutro, their commercial truck sub-brand, and directly attached the rear cargo section of a 100 series Toyota Hiace. The result is an unorthodox but incredibly effective design, creating what is globally recognized as one of the most durable commercial vans ever put into production. This third-generation model had an exceptionally long run, entering production in 1999 and rolling off the assembly line until 2021. The vehicle presented here is a 2013 windowless panel van. Notably, instead of the standard dual barn doors, this specific unit is equipped with a rear lift-up tailgate. Across those 2 decades, the van required only a single facelift. Toyota made slight alterations to the front-end styling, expanded the engine lineup, and brought the interior and safety systems up to newer standards. The core formula, however, remained untouched. Because it is fundamentally a commercial Hino truck underneath, the Dyna Route van was highly configurable. The body style shown here is the standard low roof configuration. A high roof variant was also available from the factory, which provided an additional 25 centimeters of vertical clearance for taller cargo. The payload capacities were structured in precise tiers to meet different commercial regulations. Buyers could choose a base 1-ton model, followed by intermediate chassis rated for 1.25, 1.5, and 1.75 tons, maxing out at a 2-ton capacity. However, the official owner's manual only tells half the story. Because it utilizes a reinforced light truck frame rather than a standard van unibody, its real-world limits are notoriously high. In emerging markets and across Africa, the Dyna Route van is famous for reliably hauling loads that far exceed its factory payload ratings. By combining a heavy-duty truck foundation with an enclosed van body, Toyota built a vehicle that completely prioritizes function over form. Dimensions and chassis. Dimensionally, the Dyna Route van aligns closely with the familiar Hiace H100 and 200 series, which makes sense given the shared cargo area. The physical footprint is highly practical for tight environments. The overall length measures 469 centimeters, paired with a narrow width of just 169.5 centimeters. The standard low roof model sits at 199 centimeters tall, while the high roof variant pushes the vertical clearance to 228 centimeters. Everything rides on a relatively compact 255.5 centimeter wheelbase. But the similarities to a standard van end the moment you look underneath. Because this vehicle is built on a 7th generation Hino Dutro ladder frame, it utilizes a heavy-duty, truck-grade architecture, available in both rear-wheel and all-time four-wheel drive configurations. The defining mechanical characteristic of this setup is the twin rear wheels. Having a dually rear axle serves 2 distinct purposes. First, it drastically improves the vehicle's stability when hauling heavy or top-heavy loads. Second, in the harsh, high-stress environments where these vans typically operate, the twin rear wheels act as a critical failsafe. If the van is severely overloaded on rough terrain, having 4 tires out back means a single tire blowout won't result in an immediate catastrophic loss of control or a stranded vehicle. This mechanical over-engineering is exactly why the Dyna Route van easily outworks a standard Hiace. Every suspension component is deliberately oversized, engineered with a massive margin for safety and long-term durability. The truck-based architecture also pays dividends up front, providing a wider, slightly more spacious driver's cabin than you would find in Hiace or Nissan Caravan NV350. To manage specific payload requirements, Toyota offered different wheel configurations. The standard setup features 15-inch wheels on both the front and rear axles. This configuration yields a surprisingly tight turning radius of just 4.4 meters, allowing the van to pivot easily in crowded loading zones or narrow alleyways. For models equipped with larger 16-inch wheels on the front axle, that turning radius increases slightly to 4.8 meters. For those operating in truly demanding environments, Toyota also offered a full-time 4-wheel drive variant. The all-time 4-wheel drive system increases the turning radius to an even 5.0 meters. However, regardless of the wheel and tire package selected, the ground clearance remains a consistent 13.5 centimeters across all versions. Cargo size. Now we get to the most critical metric for any commercial vehicle. What can you actually fit inside? Because the cargo box is grafted directly from the Toyota Hiace 100, you might expect identical capacities. However, placing that van body onto a heavy-duty Hino truck frame fundamentally changes the internal math. In the low-roof variant presented here, the interior gives you a cargo length of 325 centimeters, a width of 140.5 centimeters, and a height of 124.5 centimeters. When you line it up directly against the original Hiace 100, the cargo floor length remains exactly the same. But because the truck chassis sits higher and has a different footprint, you lose 9.5 centimeters of interior height and 13.5 centimeters of internal width. Overall, you are looking at roughly a 17% reduction in total cargo volume compared to an H100. Comparing it to the newer Hiace 200 series reveals an interesting trade-off. Overall, the Dyna offers about 6% less total volume than the H200. The Hiace 200 beats it on width by 14 centimeters and height by 9 centimeters. But the Dyna Route van punches back hard on the floor plan, offering a full 32 centimeters of extra length front to back. The heavy-duty truck chassis also changes how you physically load the van. The modified floor sits higher off the ground, raising the rear loading lip to 72.5 centimeters. For context, you only have to lift cargo 63.5 centimeters to get it into an H100 and just 62.5 centimeters for the H200. To offset that higher cargo floor, Toyota typically equipped the Route van with dual-hinged rear barn doors. For commercial use, this is a massive advantage. It allows you to back flush against loading docks, load pallets directly with a forklift, and open the rear in tight spaces without worrying about overhead clearance. However, there are exceptions to the rule. The vehicle presented here is a 2013 windowless panel van, and notably, instead of those standard barn doors, this specific unit is equipped with a much rarer lift-up tailgate. The rear entry provides an opening 132.5 centimeters wide by 113.5 centimeters high, complemented by a side-sliding door that opens to 101 centimeters by 134 centimeters. Driver cabin, ergonomic and comfort features. The cab's design is strictly functional. Its flat vertical sides and boxy proportions maximize interior headroom and shoulder space. Visibility is a major strong point here compared to Hiace or Nissan vans. The side windows extend unusually low into the doors. Meanwhile, the flat, tall windscreen drops straight down, enabling you to look right over the short nose and see exactly what is happening just centimeters from your front bumper. Combine that glass with the massive industrial-grade mirrors, and moving this vehicle through crowded, chaotic delivery areas becomes intuitively easy. The ergonomics directly reflect its heavy-duty foundation. Getting in and out is far more comfortable than in the previously mentioned vans. The upright seating position is paired with a horizontal steering wheel designed to reduce driver fatigue during long shifts. The dashboard focuses entirely on utility, featuring spacious shelves, wide trays, and compartments. In terms of acoustics, bear in mind that you are sitting directly on top of a 4-cylinder commercial diesel engine, so it won't be quiet. However, for an older platform of a commercial vehicle, the noise is tolerable. On this facelifted model, additional factory soundproofing has been added to dampen the diesel resonance. Standard factory air conditioning comes as part of all trim levels, ensuring the interior remains a practical and comfortable working environment. Price at BEFORWARD. Toyota Dyna Route van you can buy at BEFORWARD. The third generation 1999 to 2021 model starts from around $8,000 US. Explore the wide stock of commercial vehicles and machinery today at BEFORWARD.JP. Check the link in the description below for current stock and pricing. Our inventory is updated daily. Engine and fuel economy. The Dyna Route van is powered exclusively by diesel engines. Unlike the standard Dyna or Dutro trucks, Toyota did not offer this van as a petrol nor LPG powered. At launch in 1999, the range started with a 3.7-liter naturally aspirated engine. Over the years, Toyota expanded the lineup with additional 3, 4, and 4.6-liter diesel engines, while buyers seeking more power could choose from 2 turbocharged options producing up to 136 horsepower. Transmission options include a 5-speed manual and 2 automatic variants. Rear-wheel drive is the standard configuration, while four-wheel drive was only available with the 5-speed manual and 3.0-liter 91 PS naturally aspirated engine in the 2004 model year. Fuel is stored in a 60-liter tank. Because of the heavier commercial drivetrain and the added rolling resistance of the twin rear wheels, fuel consumption sits about 10% higher than a comparable passenger Hiace. Official manufacturer specifications rate the fuel economy between 11 liters per 100 kilometers down to 8.6 liters per 100 kilometers. However, because these are purely diesel engines, real-world consumption typically will not deviate by more than 15% from the official numbers, even when the vehicle is put to work under heavy load. Get the equipment you need at a price you'll love. Browse our vast stock at BEFORWARD.JP. Can't find the exact machine? We'll source it for you. Email your specific requirements to top@BEFORWARD.JP, and our team will find the perfect match for your budget.